Southeast.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since the inception of this government's climate leadership plan, we've seen a steady stream of spending announcements and subsidies. The majority of these announcements were to be funded through the collection of the carbon tax on all Albertans. Now that we've had a year living under this government's climate plan and some time for the government to evaluate and estimate the yearly revenue of the carbon tax to the Minister of Environment and Parks, how much of that money is expected to be collected by the carbon tax, and how much of it has been spent or committed so far, and does your government anticipate needing to dip into general revenue?
The Honourable Minister of Environment and Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The answer to the second question is no. The answer to the first question is that we will have a quarterly update, which is fast upon us, and the information will be contained therein. Thank you.
The medal.
Given the government's confidence that the carbon tax will be sufficient to pay for all the spending that they have announced under the Climate Leadership Plan, and given that if they are correct that in the assumption that there will likely be money collected from the carbon tax left over from year to year, and given this government's enthusiasm for spending found money to the same minister, if the amount of the carbon tax collected exceeds the amount needed for you to pay for announcements and subsidies, will you make the right choice and return that money to Albertans?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The short answer to the question is it won't.
Second supplementary.
Given that the BC NDP has campaigned against the approval of the Trans Mountain Pipeline, and given that the NDP blocking the Trans Mountain Pipeline will impact growth in the oil sands, affecting money raised from the royalties and from ESCR, as well as the provincial economy at large, and given that the government's climate plan relied on increasing carbon tax revenue to the same minister, will a reduction in the carbon tax collected force the government to raise taxes further to meet their commitments, or will long-term green infrastructure plans suffer because of the unpredictable funding?
Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the commitments that we have made are through stable and predictable funding to a number of different initiatives, including our Indigenous investments, including our investments in on-farm solar PV and efficiency, including a number of green infrastructure investments that we are examining right now. We will be making sure that those fit within the projected revenues, Mr. Speaker, so that communities can have what they need in order to build transit systems, in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, in order to diversify the economy, which, of course, while creating jobs, is the outcome of the Climate Leadership Plan. Thank you.